Vanta black coating is the world's darkest material. Vantablack. Vanta black. Vanta black is the world's darkest man-made material. It absorbs 99.965% of all light. I just got back yesterday from Israel, and it feels like all Israel, as well as Gaza and the West Bank for that matter, are all coated in Vanta black. It is a dark time there. There's Vanta black sadness and anger and fear. There's Vanta black coating covering the eyes of Danny Marone, a father of a man held hostage in Gaza. I sat across from Danny in Hostage Square the first night I arrived in Israel. Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, right next to the art museum. His son, Omri, was kidnapped right in front of his wife and his daughter. There is Vanta black coating Naama Weinberg, her cousin, 38-year-old Itai Sfirsky, kidnapped visiting his parents in Kibbutz Be'eri. There is Vanta black coating Nami and Amir and Miri, three adults, young adults in the prime of their lives, now refugees from Kibbutz Nachel Oz in the south, in the Gaza envelope, now refugees in the north at another kibbutz, Mishmar Har Emek. There's Vanta black coating Nami's 2-year-old son. It is a dark time in Israel. There's Vanta black coating Tali Lebanon, a woman who specializes in trauma recovery, the head of the Israel Trauma Coalition. She herself is traumatized. I met with her along with a group of rabbis from the D.C. area, a small rabbinic mission. We met in the Ramada Hotel where she is trying to help other refugees who are now homeless. There are refugees, there are the kidnapped, there are the dead. All seems coated in Vanta black. There are times when there's just so much darkness that no light can penetrate it, and we are a people who insist on lighting candles to banish the darkness. But as I return back to life here, as I settle back into my life in the States, into the congregation I serve, I don't think there's any kind of light that can banish this darkness right now. All I think is we might have a shot to create some light around the darkness, tiny lights, little candles. It won't banish that giant, gaping darkness, but we can make some candlelight around it. I did see light in Israel, light of civic unity, light of generosity, light of human connection, light of determination. But it is a dark time. 3 times in the past several days when I was in Israel, I found a quiet moment and I created a little light in my own personal way. I brought a few junk wax packs along with me. Welcome to the Rated Rabbi Sports Card Podcast, where sports cards and pop culture meet the 1984 All-Star Game. I am your host, Rabbi David Spinrad. Welcome to episode 47, Kong, but not forgotten. 3 times in Israel, I pulled out junk wax packs, a pack of 87 tops, a pack of 1991 Stadium Club, a pack of 1992 Stadium Club Series 1, just to have a little light, a little something that had nothing to do with anything. Just lose myself in a pack of cards. I feel like it's like something to carry in your medicine, when your emergency kit, when you travel. Bring a pack of cards in a troubled moment. Just some kind of moment of rescue. I had a great time opening up a few packs. I want to show you a few highlights. First one, 1992 Series 1 Stadium Club. It's a card of BJ Surhoff. I'm showing it to folks on the screen. BJ is up out of his crouch. Looks like he's going to make a throw. There's the focus. Looks like he's going to make a throw. What's amazing is the batter is Ken Griffey Jr. You can see him bent over. I don't know, maybe he was squeezing inside from an inside pitch. Awesome. Great action shot. Stadium Club, man. Do not sleep on Stadium Club. They are such beautiful cards. Surhoff had a good career. How many years did Surhoff play? Played a long time. Played 19 seasons. Was a number one draft pick. Round one, pick one in 1985. Came up as a catcher. Also played third base and the outfield. Played for Milwaukee, Atlanta, and of course Baltimore. Let me show you a second card. I'm going to show you three cards. First one was that real fun BJ Surhoff with Junior making a guest appearance. Second one, check out this card. This is from 1992 Stadium Club. It is a card of Lonnie Smith trucking Twins catcher Brian Harper. Smith, a member of the Braves. This is actually a photo taken Game 4 of the 1991 World Series. Lonnie Smith coming up, his forearms up high, like he just drills Brian Harper, runs him over. I will drop a link to this play in the show notes. You should definitely check this out. Smith is on second base. Long drive to center, goes over Puckett's head, bounces one hop off the wall. Puckett picks it up, wheels, brings it in. Close play at the plate. It's funny, Lonnie Smith, when he's young and Stratomatic, I think 1985 is a double-A Steeler, but Lonnie Smith is sort of thickened by 1991. He's also, his nickname was Skates. He's a kind of an awkward-looking guy, and you can tell it's going to be a close play at the plate. And Smith just tries to run him over. One more look. Harper manages to hang on to the ball. This is Game 4 of that incredible 1991 World Series. Harper holds on to the ball. Smith is out. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I believe it's Game 7 when they have a handshake as Smith steps into the batter's box as they reconcile. Okay. I love that I was able to figure out, I could tell, like, okay, there's no interleague play. That's Lonnie Smith. He's in the Brave. That's Harper. He's a Twin. 1991 World Series. Adam K's favorite World Series. Two teams go worst to first to the World Series. Twins take it in 7. Jack Morris, 10-inning complete game. Was it a 10-inning complete game shutout? It may have been. Finally, one more card, also from that same pack of 1992 Stadium Club. It's Juan Gonzalez. Looking up, looks like he just got good wood on one. Seeing if this one's going to clear the fences. Juan Gonzalez, Texas Rangers. When you remember the 1990s, man, Juan Gonzalez was a beast. Gets his first at-bats at the tail end of the 1980s, 1989. Ends up playing 17 years, 13 of them for the Texas Rangers. For his career, Gonzalez hits 434 home runs. Drives in 1,404 RBI, 904 career OPS. Juan Gon wins 2 most valuable players, 1996, 1998. That 1998 season, Gonzalez hits 45 home runs, 50 doubles, drives in 157 runs, has a 601 slug. For his career, Gonzalez hits 40 or more home runs 5 times. 6 times he wins the Silver Slugger. And as I mentioned, he is a two-time American League MVP. One of those guys that seemed like surefire on his way to the Hall, but faded and never made it. What else did you know about Juan Gonzalez? Well, Juan Gonzalez is tied for 14th all time in ratio of at bats per home run. Juan Gonzalez lifetime ratio of at bats per home run is 15.11 to 1. One home run every 15 at bats, good enough for tied for 14th all time, tied with Dave Kingman. That's why this episode is called Kong But Not Forgotten. We are in the top half of the fifth inning. Gooden is on. It's his first inning for the National League. But like I said last episode, we're sort of playing with narrative order a la Pulp Fiction. So we're going to jump back to the fifth. If you're listening, I'm going to describe what our friends who are watching on YouTube see on the screen right now. Fans put a big giant banner up underneath the press box. It says, "The Kong is gone but not forgotten," referring, of course, to Dave Kingman, who, despite leading the major leagues with 23 home runs at the break, was left off the AL All-Star team by Joe Altobelli, decided to go with Ricky Henderson. Henderson gave him more flexibility. Let's face it, Kong only could hit, even though he played third base, outfield, and some first base. His best position was absolutely a designated hitter. The Kong is gone, but not forgotten. Howard calls that out, tells us King was not at the All-Star game. Kingman, like Gonzalez, a slugger, but Gonzalez was a much more complete player. Dave Kingman also was a prodigy from a very young age, was a dominant pitcher. He was a pitcher all the way through, but he was such a great athlete at 6'6", as his body started to fill out. He could also just smoke the ball. In Dave Kingman's very last game in high school, he hit 4 home runs and threw a 2-hit shutout for Mount Prospect High School in Illinois. Like B.J. Surhoff, Kingman was a first-round pick, number one by the 1970. He was drafted, I believe, out of USC after leading the Trojans under Rod Dito to the College World Series. Kingman goes to the Giants at number 1, plays 16 seasons, plays for the Giants, plays for the Mets, plays for Chicago, plays for the A's, plays for the Yankees, plays for California, plays for San Diego. 442 home runs in his career, only a 236 average, and even worse, Kong only had a 302 lifetime on base percentage. Back in the day, there was shame to striking out, but not for Kingman. He used to lead the league in strikeouts regularly. In fact, he led the league 3 times during his career, led the majors in striking out. Back in the day, there was shame in striking out. It's not like that anymore, but he also could hit for some power. Career high 48 home runs, 1979 Chicago Cubs. Man, I remember Kingman when I was a kid. He was always like his power hitter, but very limited. As long as you didn't let him get into one, you could get him. You could get him out. But man, great athlete. I want to give you a few more Dave Kingman anecdotes, if I may. 1977, Kingman goes from the Mets to the Padres to the Angels to the Yankees. This is pre-expansion. We've got 77 is the first year of expansion. So we've got 28 teams, the Mariners and the Jays, but we've still only got 4 divisions. So check this out. One of only a handful of players to play for 4 teams in a single season, and the only one to play for the New York Mets, the NL East, San Diego Padres. He played in the NL West, California Angels, American League West, New York Yankees, American League East. 1977, Kingman plays for 4 teams, 1 in each division. 1978. He is on the Cubbies. Has a 3 home run game in Chavez Ravine against the Dodgers. I got to play you the most incredible audio clip. If your kids are listening, it's time to go earmuffs. I'm going to give you a 1 minute and 30-second interview. It's actually just one question. Reporter Paul Olden asks Tommy Lasorda about Dave Kingman's 3 home run game at Chavez Ravine, May 14th, 1978. 3 home runs against the Dodgers. If I could be more low tech, I would be. This is as low tech as I get. I'm going to put my phone up to the microphone, and I'm going to let you listen to Tommy Lasorda describe Dave Kingman's performance. Are you ready? Kids, earmuffs.
Opinion of Kingman's performance. What the fuck you think is my opinion of it? I think it was fucking horseshit. Put that in. I don't fucking opinion of his performance. Jesus Christ, he beat us with 3 fucking home runs. What the fuck do you mean? What is my opinion of his performance? How can you ask me a question like that? What is my opinion of his performance? Jesus Christ, he hit 3 home runs. Jesus Christ. He was the fucking game. And you asked me my opinion of his performance. Jesus. You gave me an answer. Because I'm mad, but I mean, that wasn't a good question. Ask me right now, what is my opinion of his performance? Do you want me to tell you what my opinion of his performance is? I just did. In my opinion, he took on a hell of a show. He hit 3 home runs. He drove in what, 7 runs? 8 runs. So what the hell more can you say?
Just sitting here by myself in the basement. It's 10:22 at night. And I'm listening to Tommy Lasorda interviews, May 1978. What do I think about his performance? 3 home runs, 8 RBIs. Cubs beat the Dodgers by a final score of 10-7. Oh my gosh, man. 1979. Kingman hits what is believed to be the longest home run ever at Wrigley Field. It traveled approximately 550 feet. There is, everyone knows Waveland Avenue, of course, right? It runs outside of Wrigley Field. There is a street that runs out of T to Waveland. It's called Kenmore. Kingman hit a home run not only out of Wrigley, not only across Waveland, he hit one that went up the street. It landed on the third porch on Kenmore Avenue, 550 feet, 1979. Kingman was far from lovable, man. That guy was moody, a notoriously selfish, bad teammate, absolutely hated the media. Ends up with the Oakland A's 84, 85, 86. I saw him hit a grand slam, I remember, in 1984. Don Shank Insurance, May 1984. Kevin Conklin, my coach. Don Shank, the sponsor. The team goes to a ball game. We're sitting down first base line. Kingman hits a grand slam off Yankee pitcher Jay Howell, 84, 85, 86. Kingman actually finds a home in New York, in Oakland, because he only has to be a DH. He hits 30 home runs, 30 or more each of those 3 seasons. His 90 RBIs or more each of those 3 seasons. He's the only player to hit 30 or more home runs in each of his last 3 years. And the only player since then was David Ortiz to hit 30 or more in his final season. Kingman, of course, goes out on a sour note, gives a live rat in a shoebox to reporter Sue Fornoff. He gives her a box with a big old pink rat with a tag tied to the rat that says, "My name is Sue." What a jerk, man. Dave Kingman gives Sue Fornoff a box with a big old pink rat with a tag around it that says, "My name is Sue." Never plays again after 86. Giants sign him, plays 20 games down in Phoenix, but never in the show again. 442 home runs. The Kong is gone, but not forgotten. Let me show you a couple Kingman cards before we move on to the next segment. Got a 1981 Topps in that Cub uniform. Second time with the Cubbies. No, that's not right. He played once with the Cubbies, 78 through 80. God, that's a horrible uniform. That blue with the pinstripes. Ugh. Got his rookie to show you, 1972 Topps. Very nice. Very nice. Very well centered. Dave Kingman, 1972 Topps. Look at the AstroTurf at Candlestick Park behind him. A lot of power in Kong's bat, but a knucklehead. Lives in Tahoe. Owns a tennis club. All right, one more segment. We go to commercial. Now, if you're a man of a certain age, you'll remember Stroh's beer. What was the thing about Stroh's beer? It was fire brewed. Whatever that means. I got a whole deep dive on Stroh's beer coming up in a later episode. I just want to tell you about this one commercial. They go to the break. They got three guys at the rail at a bar. That's what I'm seeing on the camera. If you're listening, I'll describe it. You got three guys holding little steins of mugs of cold, frosty Stroh's beer. The guy on our right, on their left, says, "The bartender's an ex-big league pitcher. Loves to serve fire brewed Stroh's." First beer comes flying down the bar. Guy on the end says, "That's his fastball." Next one, the beer comes down, goes around another mug of beer. That's his curve. Third one comes down, and they all move back off the bar rail. And the guy on the end says, "Wild pitch." And then coming from the other direction is a pitcher of beer. And the guy in the end, nonplussed, says, "Relief pitcher." I remember this like it was yesterday, friend. Stroh's beer, fire brewed. So why am I showing you this right now? Because I am absolutely convinced this commercial was inspired by Cheers and by Sam Mayday Malone. This commercial would have been 1984. Cheers premieres 1982. So sometime in the second season of Cheers, the advertising agency that has the Stroh's contract, inspired by Mayday Malone, make the bartender is an ex-big league pitcher. Why I think it's inspired by Mayday Malone is there is an episode in the first season, 1982-83, where you've got to remember Sam Malone, great character, fantastic character. Remember, he's in recovery. He's a recovering alcoholic and he doesn't drink. But he carries the bottle cap from his last beer as a talisman, if you will, as a good luck charm, as a source of strength and of comfort. And there's a pitcher, a rookie pitcher for Boston named Rick Walker, who's struggling. And in a moment of feeling magnanimous, Sam gives this bottle cap to young Rick Walker, and then Sam's life starts to fall apart. I mean, not fall apart, but he has a series of bad, unfortunate events befall him, including he loses his ability to serve a beer that rounds a corner, a beer that hooks, 90 degrees. A beer much like the bartender in this Stroh's beer commercial who throws the curve that goes around the other beer. Sam can throw a beer down the bar and have it hook, but he loses that ability to have it hook. And he can't do it, and he can't do it, and he can't do it. And he opens up a bottle of beer, and he's just about to have his first drink in a long time, and he throws it down the bar one last time, gives it one last shot, and he gets it to hook. And he decides not to have that drink. I am convinced that the maker of this Stroh's commercial, 1983, 1984, knew of this episode of Sam Mayday Malone and his ability to hook a beer to a customer. Sam Mayday Malone played 5 seasons in the big leagues. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 seasons in the big leagues, all of them for the Boston Red Sox, 1972 through 1977. What does that mean? It means he was on that 1975 AL winning, went to the World Series, played against the Cincinnati Reds, the big red machine. Means he was on the field the night Fisk hit that famous World Series home run. Let's talk about two of the best World Series maybe in the last 50 years tonight. We talked about that 1991 one with the Braves and the Twins. Now we're talking about 1975 Reds and the Red Sox. Mayday was on the field that night, 6 seasons, relief pitcher for the Boston Red Sox, wore number 16. They say he's inspired. His character was inspired by fireballing starter Sudden Sam McDowell, 6-time All-Star, who also kind of never really became what he could have been because of his own demons with alcohol. What else can I tell you about Mayday before I say goodnight? Well, it's well known that he gave up 4 consecutive home runs to the Seattle Mariners in 1977. In fact, it's mentioned by Frazier's dad in an episode of Frasier. All that from a Stroh's commercial from 1984. Oh, all right. What did we talk about tonight? I got to go to bed. We talked about Vanta Black, the darkest material. That's 99.965 of all light is absorbed into it, coating Israel right now, coating the grief. But we also said, you know what? Even when there is that impossible to illuminate darkness, you can still make lights around it. It doesn't take the dark away, but it does make light. I saw light there. I saw people unified. I saw people being generous. I saw people connecting. I made my own little lights in a few quiet moments, opening a few packs of junk wax cars, pulling a few fun ones, that BJ Surhoff, that great card of Lonnie Smith trucking. Oh my God, one more look at that. Let's take one more look at this card. Absolutely trucking Brian Harper. There we go. And then, of course, Juan Gon, 2-time MVP Juan Gonzalez, 1 home run every 15.11 at bats, the same as Dave Kingman Khan, but not forgotten. Did a dive in to Dave Kingman, leading the league in home runs, left off the AL All-Star team by Joe Altobelli. Then we wrapped it up with a little dive into a Stroh's Fire Brewed for fresh taste commercial. Bartenders and ex-big league pitcher had to be inspired by Sam Mayday Malone, Ted Danson. That show holds up. All right, I'm going to bed. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please tell your friends. Love to have them join us. Leave me a comment. Say something witty. I will be back next week. I want to start wrapping up the year. I want to talk a little bit about how this year of collecting has been for me. I want to hear what it's been like for you. I'm doing a lot of stars and scrubs, which means a handful of scrubs and only very occasionally picking up a star. Got my eyes set on that 1933 Gaudi Babe Ruth card 149. I might spend the entire year of 2024 trying to buy that card and picking up dollar cards here and there. Try to be an essentialist with my collection, but it's still fun to get a mail day. I had a $2.25 mail day today that I might post on my IG. It's a good one. All right. I will see you next time. Until we meet again, may you enjoy and may you ever be blessed with health and with long life. So long for now.